Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, part two. Grab petty tea, something to snack on. I hope my royalty is doing amazing. Yeah, I already mentioned vitamin D, but yeah, make sure you get all your vitamins. It's well, check up with your doctor, but yeah, in America, our medical system is a hot mess. It's if you have a disability, let's just say I am still kind of new to the medical system having a diagnosed disability. But yeah, I've had a very terrible, horrific, scary health history with doctors. Yeah, they didn't trust me for over 30 years and they blamed me, and yeah, go catch up on those episodes, but um because today's reminder is at least check up on yourself, on your body, on your heart health and everything like that. Try to go on a walk, or depending on what part of the country, and if you have a disability, it's because yeah, even with me, when I say try to go on a walk, oh, that's an experience. But I have started doing Tai Chi exercises, but the sit, it's mostly sitting and everything. But then there's a long list of different things that I'm starting to do because I'm trying to learn my new abilities, because with my disabilities, everyone always tells me what I can't do, what I'm not able to do. But just like my YouTube channel name is Handicapable, I want to find the things that I am able to do. I want to see the things that I can do, but maybe I need just a couple puzzle pieces in order to make it happen. But okay, you know what? Let's just get to the juicy stuff, okay? But yeah, do that. Don't give up. It's all my life people have told me to give up. And I think that's one reason why now I am in high gear working on literally almost a dozen things at the same time, because I'm just you know what? If it's when it's time for me to go where I'm going to go after this life, I say when my feet are going to be dragging all through these sands. It's because yeah, it's my disability. I drag, so yeah, you may not see footprints, but you'll see a dragging motion. But it'll be out of happiness and everything like that. So, but okay, let's get petty. Let's get petty. Because okay, first thing, yeah, because I mentioned in the last episode, Epstein files. It is so crazy how the colonizers, at first, during the first presidency, they're yeah, let's find all these people. Let's see all the people that did all this stuff. And it's awful. And they mistreated kids. And oh, yeah, we're going to blame the LGBTQ community for it and everything and all this other stuff. But now, the orange man's name, and the orange man is trying to make sure, especially after the first time he had all of those files. He took planes full of documents with him. And it's part of me feels after this one, we need a chaperone. We're gonna need a chaperone to make sure he doesn't take any documents he's not supposed to take. Because and all of the other people, because of it's the Supreme Court gave him all of these freedoms to be able to do whatever he wants, but that doesn't include the vice president and all of the people that are, basically barking and begging and rolling over as he says or whatever. They don't have those same benefits. So I'm kind of wondering, are we gonna see them take some documents they're not supposed to take? I'm just saying. So, but when it comes to the Epstein files, ooh, and it's part of me, I want to know what other files did he take? And especially when it comes to those boats that he blew up. My condolences. See, I've done one episode on who is going to get my condolences, who is going to get my empathy and sympathy, because after that situation that happened September 10th, yeah, it's I have more people. My empathy and sympathy is going for those people, the fishermen, and the racism is still going. People are no, they were dealing the special candy, and if okay, listen to the Mr. Lockakey episodes if you want to know about the special candy, but you know what special candy is. Okay. Yeah, I try to make it kid friendly. I try to make sure it is YouTube friendly, all that stuff. So, anyways, you know what it is. But trying to accuse these people of color who are on boats when did you do an investigation? FBI, CIA, like who did you do an investigation? And it's like just saying, oh, they must have been. But then now hearing that the boats were so small and they wouldn't have had enough fuel to make it to America, and it's like, and we have survivors. Thank God. I just hope they are okay, and I hope they're going to be able to live there. Like, because especially now, I'm wondering, it's like, are they damaged to the point where now they have to live the rest of their life with a disability? And if so, ooh, come over to America and sue and get that money. I'm so serious. Sue and get that money. Because we keep hearing like family members of some of the people, they're like, they were fishermen. That's what they did. That's what they do. That's why they were out in the waters. And it's like having, uh, like people of color, and that's why I'm just saying, that's why I'm really upset with people of color right now. Because colonizers, oh, I'm not brand new with colonizers. I've known this for since I was a little girl. Been brought up and learned and watched in my surroundings. I've paid attention, and I think that's one reason why people of color and colonizers, they're mad at black women because we've paid attention. And like a lot of black men get the privilege of being men, and they've been watching the colonizing men, and so part of them, they kind of forgot parts of their history of what our ancestors had to fight for, to the point where, and also with the Christian identity and the Christian part where it's like they see the power that they can have over women. And with a lot of MAGA, it's about power, and especially taking rights from women, taking power from women. And so like a lot of these African American men, they're attracted to that. So while they're attracted to that, they forgot what they fought, what our ancestors fought for. And so now, while they are on the MAGA side, it's like you can like kind of like a piece of paper, like now the corners are ripped off, and now like other parts are starting to be torn off. But some of them still don't care because they're like, as long as it's not me, as long as it's not me, especially with the black men, as long as it's not me, it's like, and so right now it's affecting black women a lot more. And it's affecting black farmers a lot more. And it's affecting black business owners a lot more. But they just still don't care because it's not affecting them. As long as it's not, and that's a lot of conservatives, that's a lot of MAGA. As long as it's not affecting me, I don't care. I remember that interview at the beginning of the year where an African American interviewer was interviewing African American people who voted for the Orange Man. And one guy was like, as long as my daughters are okay, I don't care. And oh, my husband's a police officer, so I don't care. Like each one of them was just showing how, as long as it doesn't affect me, I do not care. Almost every time I hear from people that are similar to Candace Owens, I hear that I don't care. But then it's really funny because I've heard Candace Owens kind of be like, "Oh, I didn't know this was gonna happen." I'm like, "Girl, you lying." That's in my opinion, but girl, Pinocchio, like, okay, like I don't remember them there. Well, let's just say that would be an interesting story of a black Pinocchio, especially a black female Pinocchio. You know, if you want to write that story, hey. But yeah, I don't. So, anyways, I don't know. It's just with everything going on right now, and then with the Epstein files, and now they don't want to swear in the new like congressperson because she will be the last signature needed in order to force the Epstein files to be released and come out and everything. But you have the followers of the Orange Man who are just like, no, don't open them, don't do this, but then while the government is shut down, it's like we have like people who serve for us, the army and all of these other like departments who are not getting paid, who are not able to, live their lives. But yeah, all lives matter, right? Unless you're not getting your way, right? But it's just crazy because the food shelters are running out of food hours earlier than they normally do, and the lines are so much longer. And it's to a point where our army people should never be hungry, and our veterans should never be hungry or homeless or without the mental help, or like, because like I think automatically by law it's like there should be housing units, because like with a lot, especially like Metro Detroit alone, we have buildings that like destroy them, tear them down, and build housing units for veterans. Like once the veterans get out of service, it's like they don't have to worry. We have a place for them, and there will be therapy. There will be either home cooked meals, and they're like, even for therapy, sometimes like painting and cooking can be very therapeutic. And so it's like, welcome like the guys down, or the ladies and guys down, for painting time and cooking time, and they can talk and embrace. And it's like, just go through the emotions of what they had to face. And those who were injured, who had or now have a disability, go through the proper disabilities, and see, it's like, this is what progressives want. These are the, like, so many people, oh, they hate America, oh, they do this, oh, they do that, they don't want us, they don't like America. Like, no, we want America to be amazing for everyone. We want it to be livable for everyone. We want to tax the rich so that everyone will be able to survive in a country that the rich is getting richer. And then it's like, years ago they were like, oh, it's gonna be like the drip off effect or whatever. It's like, yeah, we're gonna like do things so that the millionaires, it's like they'll be getting more, but it's gonna drip down, but it never did. And then they didn't want to raise the minimum wage. And I'll never forget that debate that I had during COVID with Zach from I talk about him like, not a lot, but I've talked about him like, because I'll never forget that debate. And then the Orange Man supporters that listened to it, but then they had the nerve to say that he won, when I'm thinking, okay, he says, who in the world cares about the minimum wage? And then with education, he said, why would anyone care about learning about African American history? Because in the long haul, it's not going to affect anybody. Yeah. And then even with disability rights, he said that if an owner doesn't want to be bothered having to look at someone in a wheelchair, like, he said some of the most bigoted things, but his MAGA followers, or anybody Republican, they loved it. They thought he was bringing up amazing points. And then they don't want DEI, but then they say that if someone doesn't want to look at someone in a wheelchair, even if they're the most qualified, go listen to my interview with Taco Bell, and then also McDonald's. And I've been to so many interviews. It was to a point where I was so desperate for a job that I started applying for fast food in order to see if I can move up and get to corporate level, because it's like people look at me, or especially before my diagnosis, before my walking got worse, I dragged my feet, I walked really weird. So yeah, but at this age, yes, I have 3 degrees, 3 certifications. I worked my tush for them. And yeah, I worked so hard. And especially now, like, once I was diagnosed and I learned what my disability is, I'm like, I did all of that. I did all of that. It's like people want to tear me down, put me down, tell me what I can't do. But look what I've done so far. Look at what I've done so far. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But at the same time, it's just with all of the hate that Black people and well, people of color are just not realizing it. But hello, and the disability community and women, it's like, but it's the funny thing, like a lot of the colonizer like women, they're still not, like most of them are still not waking up to it, even though that Hexeth jerk, like his pastor is even like women shouldn't vote, women shouldn't have power, women shouldn't do this or that or whatever. And the female journalist who was interviewing him was like, oh, so you don't think it's a good thing that I'm interviewing? He was like, I didn't say that, or not for now. He said something to the point where it was just like, yeah, he's, in my opinion, I mean, this is all in my opinion as normal, but he is such a sexist, awful, terrible jerk. But it's like, if people go to his church and they believe what they believe, and they even, like the one couple that was in the same interview, like like when the man was like, yeah, I decided to move, and she was just like the definition of the new world of like the Bible, because the Bible, like I've learned a lot, but with like there are pastors that I would love to go to their church, but it's like none of them are in my area. But there are some who they know about the King James Version and how it was rewritten for the power of man. Because even the portion with submissive, it wasn't meant for the wife and things. And I mean, there's just so much to it where I'm just like, oh my gosh, see, like it's like I'm still a Christian, but oh my gosh, it's like I would go to this person's church. I would go to like, because now think like when they preach, it makes sense. All throughout growing up, there were so many times where things did not make sense, and then people kept blaming me or telling me that the reason I walked the way I did was because I didn't pray hard enough, because I must be an awful person, because I better be nicer to my mother, even though she was absolutely awful to me so many times, to the point where I will never forget how many times she would tell me, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever gonna want you, love you, or marry you. Whenever I think of my mother, that's the first thing I think of. That's how many times she said it. That is how many times she said it. And she said so many other awful things, but when I think of my mother, that is the first thing I think of. And one reason is because, and she would tell me, it's in the Bible. The like Bishop would want me to tell you, God would want me to tell you this. And that would make me more emotional and upset, because I'm just like, I haven't done anything wrong. It's like, oh, you're just being lazy. God is like, see, this is why it's like the doctor, like, because, yeah, one of the doctors said, well, beat her until she walks right. And she was like, because, yeah, that's what it, like, the Bible says, spank them to make them do as you say. And, oh, yeah, this is why it's like people say, oh, well, that didn't come from the church, or the church isn't a hostile place, so the church isn't, be quiet. But okay, yeah, back to the racism part. Sorry, it's like, when you're talking to a handicapable Black woman, I'm going to talk about the disability part, the racism, and the sexism, all in one channel. But okay, let's talk about environmental racism. Because do you know how many areas where it's like they were going to build factories in one part of a state, and especially like near the cancer, or away from the cancer belt, but then the colonizer people are like, no, that's not fair, those are toxins, that's not, like, we don't want that in our area, and we make too much money, we're rich, don't forget that, and we're white. So then they put it near African Americans, and African Americans are like, well, this isn't safe for us either. And especially in our area where it's now, it's like, it's known to be the cancer belt, and it passes through Louisiana and everything like that. But you have a 50% chance of getting cancer. And they were supposed to get money from it, but then an orange man supporting judge voted against them getting any money. And it's really crazy. It's like people say there's no more racism and everything, but then when you talk about the hardships that they keep placing African Americans in, and they're just like, just suck it up, do whatever. But then once, like the colonizing farmers now, they need help, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we need socialism, we need the help, we're not going to survive. Like, as long as it's not you, you don't care. But if it's black people, you want them to just get over it. And like with the health system and with the cancer belt and everything, it's like a lot of them, they want to move but they can't move because they can't sell their house, because it's like by law the real estate agent has to let them know about the dangers of getting cancer. And who wants to buy a house near a factory in a place where you're 50% chance of getting cancer? Who? But majority of the time it's in areas where African Americans are. Majority of the time, they can't. If you look at the cancer belt, like the whole belt is like, yeah. So one day I'll cover it really, really deeply. It's like I covered it more in other episodes about a year ago and everything. But and then the medical deserts is going to be interesting because a lot of them voted in a way where it's not going to affect me. I don't care, whatever. But then they forgot they're in the country. And a lot of them didn't know about different laws and different things that both Obama and Biden put in place to make sure that their hospitals were stable and able to survive in whatever economy. But now the Orange Man and his posse and everything eliminated stuff to the point where now some cities now, or like some small towns, don't have a hospital at all. They don't have a hospital at all. So what about an emergency? What about the pregnant women? And it's funny, like a lot of them, they want more people getting pregnant. But if you live in a small town that doesn't have a hospital, how are you going to do that? And then what about like, how are you going to find your OBGYN and make those appointments and everything like that? And, but then also, this was a few years ago. Oh, and now I'm forgetting the name of them, but like not the housewives. But the women who their job is like they come to your house and help you deliver the babies. I'm gonna remember the name like 5 minutes after I tape this or whatever. But yeah, um, it's just they messed with that during his first presidency, and it was like I think Biden was trying to help with that, but Republicans kept voting down and stuff, and but now it's to a point where some of you small towns, I bet you wish you had that now, right? I bet you want that now, right? Because now, if you don't have a hospital, and then you don't have, the the nurse to come in that'll be able to help you have the baby and stuff like, um, and then some of the issues with having like some of the nursing homes are closing down too, and it's just to a point like, what you guys gonna do? And it's like some of you guys were like, as long as it's not me, but now it's starting to be you. And that's really going to affect the farmers because a lot of the farmers live in the small towns. So now they're having the money issue, but now they might be having the health issues. And I mean, I guess we should be happy that they're not going to be, or I hope they don't live near, you know, the cancer belt, because the people that lived there asked for the money and they were denied. And then the people that we have a couple more ancestors that lived through the massacres that was asking for their money. And oh, Orange Man supporter was like, oh, yeah, you don't need that money. That's based off race. When the massacre was based off race. And oh, and in some of the topics that like sometimes when I read through, especially the Facebook topics, and it's a little political. Do you know how many bigoted, awful, terrible, racist people are like, oh, I can't wait to watch them put the hose on people. Oh, I want to see the dogs chase them and bite them. This is America. If you say this is not what you voted for, you're lying. if you're saying this is not what you voted for, you're lying. Okay? We all know that. And I mean, there's so many other topics, and like, cause I mean, with the restaurant, I brought that up a little bit in the last episode, but with there's so much racism, but for so many years, people covered it up, or like they were too nervous to bring it up because we didn't have a leader that would help motivate them. But now, the orange man, and then even with Elon when he did that whole salute thing, ugh, he's not a racist. We're gonna do it too. Oh, look, it's fun, and but and then now we're seeing a lot of swastikas. But then they say they're not racist. But then they don't want to teach history, but then they want to repeat history. And then they keep saying racism is over with while doing racist things. And then one thing that keeps amusing me, because that one idiot Republican yesterday or last night in the discussion I mentioned in the last episode, when I was talking about the past, the present, and future and things, just some of the disgusting, I don't know, it's like, oh yeah, she was just like, I thought the Democrats were supposed to be for like forgiveness and kindness. Like, I keep hearing that from Republicans. And the funny thing is, Republicans are supposed to be the Christian people. Christians are supposed to be of love. But they're really of bullies and trolls and awful, bigoted, terrible, racist people, in my opinion. In my opinion. And did I say all? No, I didn't say all. I mean, I see a couple Republicans that I can have brunch with. Like there's the one from The View. I like, no, not Alyssa, the other one. Yeah, it's like with her, I'm like, cause when she was in Florida and she went to that the LGBTQ restaurant for brunch or whatever, I'm like, oh, see, that's the kind of Republican I could chill with. She cool, she nice. It's like I like her, and it's like the way she talks about like people's rights and everything. I'm like, you know what? It's like, cause when I hear the reason that she voted that she is Republican, especially from where she came from and the history of where she came from, I understand it, but I'm educated enough so that I can come to an understanding. But at the same time, with where she came from, it's like the way that it's based off of. It's like it's actually Democrats that are fighting for the things that it's like she wants, but in where she came from, it was so toxic, or they did it in a toxic way, and they did it for selfish reasons. And so, but anyways, different subjects for a different day. I'll talk about it later or whatever. But yeah, I'm not talking about all. I've never said all, but it's a lot of them. And if you look at my Patreon, there's a lot of them. And the thing is, I only have a drop in the bucket of the racism, sexism, bigotry, of all of the hatred and stuff that people want to say, especially on dating apps. And that's why when the young Republicans try to act like, oh, well, no, it's not all of us, and oh, we just blah, 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 and there's no more racism, but in their little feed, oh, if anyone saw this, oh, we'd be through. Yeah. And there might be a part three, but I'm probably like, I need a break with top. Like, there's so much racism in this country. There's so much bigotry in this country. But for so long, people wanted to mask it up, like, but we voted for Obama. But then while you vote for Obama, it was like my ex's mom would tell me, the only reason you got into college is because you're black. The only reason you got a chance to teach college classes is because you're black. It's like everything that comes good for you is only because you're black. I mean, she didn't say that last part, but every time I accomplished something, it was only because I'm black. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's going to be another episode of why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. But anyways, thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.